Hello everyone to the JCast Network. I'm your host, Herman. Do you know there are over thousands of Judaica that are being sold in flea markets across Germany and Europe? The opportunity to speak to Bill Frankel, Executive Director of the new organization, Bring It Home. Let's take a closer look. Whenever you start a organization, you kind of are looking for something that will be meaningful to oneself. And you've been in the educational field for a number of years. And tell us a little bit about what inspired you to, to bring this organization to the forefront.
You know, it's interesting because I have been in Jewish education for a long time. And, you know, the Holocaust is sort of like central to a lot of the themes that we have in our discussion about Israel and the state and who we are as a people, but it's never really, there's nothing that has really grabbed me or hit me upside the head or moved me so strongly. I've been to Yad Vashem half a dozen times in different Holocaust museums in the States. And it was simply, I was on a trip to the States and I stopped off in Budapest. And I'd love to go shopping and I'd love to go to markets and I'd love to go, check out the culture of the country. And I went to this random flea market in Budapest. And as I was walking through the market, I started seeing Judaica, and I'd seen Judaica before in different markets. But there was lots, and there was a lot of different styles. And every time that I would come into a vendor's booth, they kind of would sort of like, oh, here's the Jewish guy, and they'd reach under the table and they bring out all kinds of other Judaica for me to see. And there were pieces from the Holocaust, like the Jewish star, the Jude, the yellow star. And they would show me identity papers, and it just really it struck me really strongly, like this shouldn't be here. And as I kept walking through the market, I would see more and more, and I would start seeing things that I don't normally see, like Yad Torah and Tzedaka cups, and very enamored pieces. And I just thought there's something wrong about this picture. This shouldn't be here. I bought a few pieces, and I sat on it for a bunch of years, thinking we've got to figure out a way to bring this home. And that was really the inspiration of the project. It was a simple stop off to a flea market.
You know, it's funny because a lot of people don't understand that, this is happening now. Like, this isn't like, after the Holocaust, there were some organizations that went in to try to buy things. But there is so much history and personal belongings of people that are being sold on the street in antique stores. I know for myself, when I did a college March of Living back in 2000, I remember walking around and I saw it was a small town, like a menorah like on a table. I'm like, that doesn't sound right. Like, where do they get that from? They don't have like a Judaica store here, And then going to Warsaw and seeing the antique stores and then seeing like the Kiddush Torah and you have all these things, like, how is this possible? Like, now, like, what, like, this is stolen goods. Really, that's what it is. What are you hoping to achieve? Obviously, this is in its infancy in bringing this to forward, but what are you hoping to achieve through this?
In my wildest dreams, I would love to clear out all the markets of all the pieces, but I know that's not reality. What I really want to do is to create a movement and momentum of getting the pieces out of the hands of the flea markets and out of the vendors, and really starting this almost a new educational project of education about the Holocaust through these pieces. One of the things that I said at the very beginning, I've never really moved or struck or from the different museums like the Yad Vashems and so forth. And I think this is something that's it's a stronger piece. Instead of just seeing the imagery that we're used to, is having this piece that we know that was stolen during the time of the Holocaust, and every single Friday night saying Kiddush with this cup that we know was from that time period. So it perpetuates the memory, it perpetuates the idea. Instead of just like this one-off thing that we do in 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, it's something that it's a constant in our life. and to really infuse it into the Jewish community, into summer camps, into synagogues, into hillels, into private families' homes. A new Ethiopian family, and also to connect it to the community that it may have come from. Like if I identify a family in Budapest that's coming into Judaism, here's a piece. Let's reclaim it.
Going back to what you just said, is I actually bought a Basan box in Warsaw, and I was like, I handled the guy. I said, like, is this real? Do you have a certificate of authenticity? The guy thought it was crazy, I remember him saying, like, where did you get this from? Like, oh, we got it. And then, I gave it to my tour guide, and there was an 88 etched into the Basan box. And he goes to me, this is a true treasure. 88% of that is pure silver, and it's from 19th century Russia. And that now, it was somebody's Basan box, and, now I use it every Shabbat for Havdalah. And it really forges that connection to never forget, and it's so important now. People have their private collection. When you go to Yad Vashem and other Holocaust museums, you see those things. But when you actually have that, it just furthers that connection.
And one of the pieces that I really find that's important about this project is that we want to make sure that it doesn't go into a museum, that it doesn't sit on a shelf, that it doesn't go into an archive somewhere, that it really, one of the stipulations that it has to be used. Before we're going to give it to anybody, they have to agree that we're going to use it. We're going to put it to use every time it's to be used.
So where are you now with your project?
So we're at the infancy of it. We're growing it. We're at the ground of it. Right now we're raising money through an Indiegogo fundraiser, and we're doing that so we can really establish a strong portfolio for federations, for donors, for moving it to the next stage of fundraising. Right now it's just base fundraising, developing the idea, getting the word out, and my hope is that by this summer we'll have our first real shopping trip, either to Budapest or Lithuania. And that's what we're looking for right now, to really professionalize the piece. This is really just a dream that I've kind of created, and that I've been working with a few people, helping put the idea together.
So, give us like sort of like your plan when you go on these shopping trips. Like, how do you envision this going down?
So the idea is this: like, I don't want to go into a market and then like have the word quickly spread, like, okay, there's a buyer here, and like everybody jacks up the prices or bring out the good stuff, or I want to sort of be a little bit more discreet about it. And the idea is to connect with, and I keep using Budapest as the example because that's where this all started, is that I want to go and connect with a Jewish student organization in Budapest, work with a bunch of students, sort of prep them, do a quick, like, go in one day, take a look and see what we have, come back, make a plan, and then we blitz the market for specific pieces and for specific areas, and then come out. So do something very, very quick that we go in and come out. Once we get going, then we'll connect again with other Jewish communities, preferably the students, because I really want to involve university students, which I think is another level of education. And have them help identify, to locate, to sort of pre-shop places before we go into them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, getting that connection with students is sort of like that next level of engagement. I mean, that you can learn about, the Holocaust. You can have grandparents that survived or great-grandparents that survived it. But like when you're actually doing something, it's the action of trying to bring it home, baby. Just making that connection. It's for a lifetime.
Yeah, and I think that's where my background is. It sort of kind of comes into the whole project. Is that it's not just like let's just buy it and give it to somebody. That there's a sort of a full spectrum of education that's connected to it, like sort of a holistic piece to it. That we're connecting it with the community that it's come from. We're connecting it with the people that it's going to. Part of it's we're also going to give with the piece an educational brochure or handbook about what's the history, where did it come from, and here are different traditions that you can use in using this piece and bringing it back to life.
That's great. And where can people learn more about your project?
There's a couple different places they can go. The main place is our website, which is www.bringithome.org.il. And we also have a Facebook page, which is Bring It Home. And we also have an Indigo site, which is on our Bring It Home website.
Well, thank you, Bill. We wish you all luck in bringing this really important project to the forefront.
Thank you very much.
As you can see, Bring It Home is an important initiative in trying to recoup Judaica stolen from the Nazis in the Holocaust. This is our own Herman. Thank you for watching.